All right. Okay. I once knew a man that robbed 2 banks. He was my ex. Let me think of something else. I knew a man that broke up with me over dominoes. And I knew a man that broke up with me over celibacy.
Shit. Oh, hell no. Okay. So you trying to be a Bonnie and Clyde at one point with the robber?
I wasn't.
Oh.
That was all him.
It was involuntary. You are listening to A Trip to India podcast, the podcast where women inspire women to dream big. On this episode, meet Nhayah Goode. She is a vocalist, songwriter, and a writer. Her current single is Shut Up, where you can listen on Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube.
Yes.
Did I get it right?
You got it right. Absolutely. I got the lip pin on too. Shut it.
All right. Please let me know if there's anything that I've missed about your background that you would like others to know.
Nothing at all. I feel like it's all going to come unfolded in this interview.
Well, I've been peep watching your Instagram, so I do know that you do appearances and you do sing live on the side. I think that's an accomplishment of its own as well.
Yes. I have had some live music gigs. I've had the opportunity to do that, which I'm so grateful for. And I'm also grateful that most of them were paid. You know, they be trying to shade the vocalists. You know, the instrumentalists get more opportunities, but the vocalists, they be like, all right, you can come sing for free. Or we can charge you $50 to sing. So I'm like, whoa. So, right. It's just the craziest thing. It's insane. But yeah, so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I have a gift. I discovered my gift when I was 8 years old. 1997, and it was the Titanic song, My Heart Will Go On. I was singing that. Me and my cousin were kicking it in his room at my aunt's house, and the movie was on for some reason. I don't even know why we were watching it. We're both 8 years old, and I started singing My Heart Will Go On, and then everybody ran into the room literally and was like, was that you?
Yeah.
Yep. That's when I was like, oh, okay, I must got something here. Let me see.
It's nothing like family reinforcement. I feel like that's something that I've been seeing is real common with the people I've interviewed so far, that it really did spark when somebody in their family was like, okay, you on to something. And it like stuck with them forever.
That's true. That's a good, I never thought about that situation in that way. You're right about that. Thank you, Aunt Belinda.
Aunt Belinda, shout out to you. I feel like this show is starting to turn into like a case study a little bit, because it's been a lot of similar parallels with a few people's story. But before we get into the good stuff, because now I know this is going to be a really good conversation, because it's already going to flow that way anyway. We're going to play our game.
Okay.
We're going to break
I heard that in the Saw voice. Let's play a game.
Let's play. Oh, no. Oh, I love the Saw movies. We're going to do 2 truths and a lie.
Okay, I'm ready.
3 times.
Okay, so just tell you, all right, so here we go. 3 facts. I've traveled to over 30 countries. I've been in a couple fights with the police, and I've won. And I've narrated an audiobook.
I can see you doing all 3. You have the voice for an audiobook. Is that something you've done?
Yes, I have done that one. That's the truth. Okay. Now you gotta figure out the other.
I'm really praying that you ain't get into a fight with the police. Have you?
That one is the truth. Yes, I have.
Oh my goodness, girlfriend! Look. No.
And I'm on my way to them 30 countries. That one's the lie. I wish that one was the truth, but
you spoke this into existence.
Right. So that's why I wrote that. Because as soon as the Pandora, I'm sorry, look at the Pandora.
The panorama.
Okay, the panorama, just start giving it a whole bunch of different names. As soon as the panorama hit, the Ponderosa hit, I had got my passport renewed, and then boom, they set all the little restrictions. So I'm just like, whatever. I'll get to them 30 countries eventually.
That pandemic, man, it made us realize, like, all right, I was playing before, I'm gonna be for real this time. Like, you're gonna take it seriously. Yeah.
Seriously, even when it comes to like just buying a piece of artwork, I'm like, I'm gonna do it right now because shoot, we don't know what's gonna get shut down. Like this artist specifically, I hadn't seen her in like months. She just popped up. She had art, and then I had to get it because you don't know where people are at, what's gonna happen, what's moving. It's just crazy. Insane.
I definitely need to add some more to my collection too.
Yes, we know we can hit an art show. I love an art show.
Exactly.
I love an art show.
Round 2.
Yes.
Round 2.
Oh, wait. Oh, I have to have more truths in one line?
Yep, we got 3 rounds. Round 2.
Shit. Now I'm gonna freestyle. I wrote those down. I had a little write out. Okay, let's freestyle.
Perfect.
Okay. I have opens for Freddie Jackson. My mom and I did get in a fight with girls when I was in middle school. Okay. And I'm a dog person. I think you already know which one is a lie.
On yourself already. I can relate. I concur. Cause I like them from a distance. I don't.
Right. Like, hey, Cujo, over there. Over there.
I like my peoples, like my family and friends, dogs. I just don't like them in my face.
Right. Because dogs get a little handsy. They be all in your business, all in your nose, and like, get away.
They be everywhere.
They be everywhere. Cats be chilling. I like cats. They do their thing. They look at you like, hey, all right, cool. I'm going to go this way.
I enjoy cats too. Yeah. I enjoy cats. Because they are chill. But their fur makes me sneeze a lot, so I know I can't have one. But my sister is dead set on the hairless cat. I forgot what it's called, but she really wants that ugly thing, and it's
really scary.
It's so ugly. I get it. She's like, oh, I love it. I'm like, all right, if you get it, girlfriend. Right. So we got one more round. I'm gonna make it easier for you.
Okay.
You can talk about the things you like.
Okay.
Something nobody knows about you. Okay, you got something?
I think I got some stuff.
Okay.
All right. Okay. I once knew a man that robbed 2 banks. He was my ex. Let me think of something else. I knew a man that broke up with me over dominoes. And I knew a man that broke up with me over celibacy.
Shit. Oh, hell no. Okay. So you trying to be a Bonnie and Clyde at one point with the robber?
I wasn't. That was all him.
It was involuntary.
He
wanted you to hold it down.
No. And didn't even wanted to hold it down, literally real quick, because I love to tell stories, so I have to make sure I keep it quick. But it was astonishing. Established in the military, exalted. He had all these appointments and decided to rob 2 banks in Austin, Texas. He went to jail for 6 years, was supposed to go to jail for about 15, but because he had all that military background, Texas was a little bit lenient on him. So that's a true story. It was crazy.
So he got away with it for a little bit?
He did. The first one. Okay, so what happened was, how he got caught was he was driving around with the money for the second one.
Girl.
When I went to visit him in prison, that's what he said. And he had got like over 10,000. So he was driving around with it. He was doing it by himself too. He had a brother out there, everybody, just doing it by himself, and then got caught up. I went and visited him in prison. Like, this is some wild shit. This is crazy.
It's a movie.
Right.
No, that's so funny. And I really feel like robbing banks is more common than we think they are, because somebody else has a similar story, and the way they got caught was the same way, but it was in Georgia, and they had the money in the back. And I was like, this is y'all problem. Carrying it, and not sharing the wealth. You're supposed to be robbing it.
Look, we finna tell them a whole damn plan. You go bury the money, sit on it, just let it sit for a year, relax. It's gonna be there, and then come out. Don't be driving around with it like, and then fly to a non-extradition country. Fly over there.
Right, exactly. If you thought you were coming only for the legal career inspiration, a trip to India podcast, I'm here to tell you we are non-judgmental. No, I'm just playing. Watch the sponsorships just like,
Right.
this girl
They like, wait, what? Non-extradition. Oh no, get her out of
she know too much.
there. For
No.
real. No,
Okay,
I
okay.
learned
We're
that from
not
Fast
even
and the
done.
Furious.
Okay. Has someone dumped you from your celibacy? Were you
Yes, I
ever
did get
celibate?
broken up. I was celibate for like from 2016 to 2018. And I got broken up with. I was still dating too. Like, oh, but by the way, I'm celibate. But they was rocking with it. But he literally broke up with me. 90 days, was it 3 months? I guess after 3 months, he was like, well, shit, I should be smashing by now. And then I said, well, give me my, yeah. And so I had let him borrow the Dr. Huey P. Newton Revolutionary Suicide book.
I
had let him borrow it.
Girl.
It's my favorite
changed
right
my
here.
Life. Yes, I have it in my library.
Yes, that's like one of my top recommended books.
Me too.
And I said, hey, let me get my book back and we good. That's all I said.
You need that back.
Just give me my book back. I don't care about what you talking about. But he was such a nice guy. He was actually a really, really nice guy. He just probably really just wanted to, be intimate. And I was still in the mindset of, I just want to just enjoy the time right now.
Yeah,
I'm not trying
if you didn't. He probably read Steve Harvey book and just thought like
yeah, right. Because after 90 days, he was like, okay, well, what we doing?
Mm-hmm. I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Right.
Okay. All right, that was really fun. I learned a couple things about you, girl. You got an interesting life. So wait, you and your mom, y'all ain't never pull up on some girls in middle school? No.
Now we did in crazy life. And my mother was the first Black female police sergeant and police lieutenant on Las Vegas Metro. So that's how she was able to get away with that one, basically.
Okay.
It's like, it was crazy. I was in 6th grade. I just told this story to my loctician yesterday. Shout out to Miss Lady Locks. But girl, long story short, because I'm long-winded with these stories sometimes. Long story short, I was playing my saxophone on the bus at middle school. I think on that day, it was like the band was going crazy. This was the one year I played saxophone. I've always been a choir girl. And I don't know, I was playing saxophone. Everybody was like doing stuff on the bus, but the bullies on the bus was like, stop playing the saxophone. So I was like, okay. I kept playing it. And so they was like, well, we get off the bus, we gonna ba. So it was like 3 girls trying to fight me. I'm not gonna lie, I was only in 6th grade. I just took off running. I dropped my saxophone. I took off running to my friend Alexis's house. My mom was on duty at the time. She pulled up in the police car, she got my stuff, picked me up. Then she went to the school and she asked the school, what y'all gonna do about kids jumping people? The school was like, we ain't doing nothing. My mom was like, bet.
That's all I need to hear. Fine, we got it.
And then we went up to the McDonald's at the school.
Not the McDonald's.
Girl. And when I went home recently, I went to Vegas on my birthday and I went right back up to that same gas station just because I wanted to see
where it all began.
Just where it all began.
No.
But yeah, and the rest is history.
No, that's funny. That's really funny. Girl, I think a lot of people can relate to that. To some point, to some type of extent. That whatever happens in that elementary, them first 8 years of school is just wild. Even high school, but still, those first couple is just wild.
You ain't lying about that. Those are some really interesting years. Like reflect, like as you just said that, I just had so many flashbacks come back from just elementary school experiences, just the things that you're exposed to, and just oh my God,
all types.
It's crazy.
Especially
I want to homeschool
my children. You're from. You want to homeschool?
Right. Yeah. And I'm from Las Vegas, so I'd be here all day if I told you some of the stuff I saw in elementary school. Like, y'all, wow.
I could believe it.
Yeah, it's crazy, but we made it. We made it out.
So before we get into our topic, which I'm very excited about, I do want to reiterate for my new listeners, I wanted to make sure that you understood why I started a Trip to India podcast. I started this podcast to create a space where women can feel inspired and comfortable with exploring big ideas and hear the testimonies of amazing women who are actively in their career, dropping words of encouragement on what it's like to get started. So for you, you are a vocalist and a writer. And I read your last piece and it was amazing.
Thank you.
I want to dive in a little bit on what was your epiphany moment. You told about the singing at first because of the Titanic
Mm-hmm.
at 8. When did you realize that you had a gift of writing?
Okay, so it's interesting. I remember the first essay I wrote. It was when I was in elementary school, and it
Mm-hmm.
was on the planet Venus. Um,
Mm.
and so my mom, she used to always be like, you know what, you're just a really good writer. Like if I didn't write something, when she would proofread my essays or whatever in elementary, no, you could go do better. And and so it was her that really made sure that I was always really expressing myself, grammatically correctly and eloquently
Mm-hmm.
and all of that in my writing. But as I got older, I just knew that and when I got older, I just knew that I wanted to do things with my gift, but I also was kind of like teetering the fence of just how I was raised to just follow government jobs, things of that nature.
Yeah.
And so in 2016, that was the year, and here I am 32 years old. So 2016 was the year that I tapped into sharing my gifts. And like I said, like everybody on both sides of my family are all about college, government jobs, something like that.
Something
And it was
stable.
right. And it was almost as if the universe was forcing me out of those areas. Like I had just got out of the military in 2011 and I did my radio and television broadcasting degree. I got the opportunity to work at PBS and CBS and Telemundo. And then I even was working at a newspaper. And when all this stuff happened back then, I was embarrassed, but now it's like I can talk about it. I got fired from all those jobs. And those are good jobs.
They
CBS, Telemundo, PBS, the newspaper.
Yeah.
I got fired from all those jobs. And then I got in a car accident in 2016. The whole car was totaled. So I would drive an hour from Fort Hood, Texas to Austin, Texas to get to the CBS Telemundo job. And so then when my car got totaled, it was like, what the heck? So then I just started utilizing my gifts. That was the year that I, narrated that book. Even though the author chose not to move forward with the narration, I just started doing different things, even waitressing, even just waitressing at like a live event space where I could be, where I could go behind or backstage and maybe network with people. A Black-owned event space that was out there in Fort Hood. Shout out to Miss Carolyn. I got to see Tank perform. I got to see Chico Bean. She had a really dope space. And then that's how I ended up running into the promoter for the Freddie Jackson concert. And then he heard me singing while I was doing some administrative work for her. And he was like, you want to open for Freddie Jackson and Glenn Jones? And I was like, heck yeah. And I got paid for that gig. So don't let people think, listen, vocalists, just because you open for somebody don't mean you can't get paid. If they're a good person, they're gonna pay you for whatever it is that you do. You are what you negotiate. So yeah, that was really just exciting. 2016 was just like the year where I just was like just doing stuff. I just started doing like public relations for people, which is something simple, just putting their stuff out there. I curated in a live music event with my friend that owned the bookstore out there in Fort Hood, Texas, called Social Thursdays. And we used to have it jumping, free wine, $10 entry, free wine all night. Yes, it was lit. And then I just started gigging, and every time I would gig somewhere, I was getting paid. Like, that's why I'm always shocked when I hear vocalists just be okay with just performing for exposure. I was getting paid at lounges. I mean, everywhere I was performing at, I was getting paid.
That's what I want to dive into a little bit, because I think that is essential, and it's a great gem to pass on to people who have a hard time showing up for themselves. Because for one, it's a huge step to even want to put yourself out there to begin with, regardless if you're doing open mic or just opening. And then two, I know that some people feel reluctant on even asking for money. So how did you do your first thing? I know you have a very forward personality, so I want to hear this.
I don't even think I had to ask, really. Like the first 2 gigs were free, I think. I did a club gig for free, and then I did a friend's event for free. And then after that, it was just like, I don't even think I had to ask. Like I said, the guy at the event space that heard me singing just was like, how much do you charge? And I just threw out a number. I just threw it out there. And then just like with any of the gigs, the venue would offer. They're not just having you come there and perform. You know what I'm saying? They would say, okay,
it's a given.
Well, this is right, this is what we charge for this, what you're going to do 2 hours. Like that was when I didn't have a lot of my own music. So I would do like 2 hour cover sessions at a place like, let's say Y'all's Cafe in Austin, which is such a dope restaurant, Black owned. I would do a 2 hour set with maybe a guitarist and a drummer or a pianist or whoever, 2 hours now, and split it up. I'll have like a poet come in there and do their thing for a minute, because 2 hours of singing is a lot. But if you have a live band, you can stretch things out. You can stretch it out. And then you have like a little 30-minute break maybe. And so, and those were like good gigs where everybody can get paid, not just me, the vocalist, but every instrumentalist. And I've always been serious about that. Like, and if everybody can't get paid, then I'm going to at least make that known, or I'm going to come out of my own pocket. But definitely trying to make sure everybody is at least compensated for whatever. Food too. Like people need to learn to negotiate those contracts. Don't only just ask for, a rate, or not even ask, make sure they're offering it too. And then make sure you negotiate if you want to go up or down or whatever, but get the food included too. Y'all's Cafe. Right. Okay, I gotta, anytime I would set up a gig, I always have free food, make sure I got a free drink, and make sure I got some dividends.
Exactly. Yes. And I think that's essential, especially in Atlanta, because it's a hit or miss, because so many people own restaurants and lounges and cafes in Atlanta that some of them are also novices at this as well. Like they don't even know how it goes, and they will try you. They will try to get the free. And if you come correct, then they'll know how to approach you. But if they can even sense that you're a little green, they're gonna take it and run with it. So I definitely think that was very important that you brought up on getting compensated, because a lot of people have imposter syndrome too, because they're like, well, who am I to get paid when I don't even have my own music out? But like you said, you can do a whole 2-hour cover session.
Right.
You better get compensated. So after, as we're talking about this, so 2016 seems like an crucial time. And it was a lot of things that jumped out at me as you were talking. For one, the one thing that I noticed was you just tried. You tried a lot of things. You named like 3 to 4 different like well-known companies. And then you've also thrown out like your side gigs. How do you feel like during all of that? I'm pretty sure you had some moments of self-doubt. How did you cope with that?
Still kind of the hate doubt. I'm reading a book now called Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil. I read it every year, but doubt is one of the biggest things that can really keep you from even going towards your dreams. So fight that. I can cuss, right?
Yep.
Fight that shit. Fight that shit. But what I did, one of the things that you think about, especially as a vocalist and a writer, is everybody's doing it. And then you're worried about if you can sing as good as her and then it's like, whatever. Now, when I started doing the live gigs, I never was worried about who could sing better than me. I just was focused on making sure that I was okay. Right. But you do be having those things like, is it, and I really think in 2016, 2017, I was doubtless. I think when I came here to Atlanta in 2018, it was like, it was like, okay. And then they're not doing a lot of paid stuff here for vocalists too much. And then I was singing background vocals with a woman here for like a year, and none of the gigs were paid. The 3 gigs that I did though, since I've been here in Atlanta, have been paid, and I've only done 3, but those 3 have been paid enough for me to pay everybody.
Because you advocate for yourself. That's why.
Right. But back to the question though, and then I was thinking, I think I had some thoughts of, is there room for me to, especially when I came here, it was like I said, in 2016, 2017, I had no doubt. I was just doing stuff. I did like 4 stage plays in 1 year. I forgot about that part. That was something I'm leaving out. I did like 4 stage plays in 1 year.
Tempest, was one of them.
Yeah, Tempest was on DVD, and then it's on Amazon Prime now, the stage play Tempest. And then I did a stage play called Unfaithful with Lucy House Entertainment and Little G from Silk, the lead singer. He was actually my husband in that play. But I didn't have any doubt. I just I remember when I went to audition for that specifically, or when I was getting prepared for that, I went to Walmart, got my headshot. And then I was like, I think Walmart was like, oh, the cameras are down. And I was like, well, I guess it's not whatever.
Meant to
And then
be.
I went
Yeah.
to check out. I was going to the front lanes to check out. And then I got a phone call on my cell phone. Oh, your picture is ready. And I was like, oh, I guess it must be meant for me to go up here to this audition. So I wasn't as doubtless in 2016 because I had no choice. My car just broke. I just freaking got in that car accident. And then I just had all those freaking terminations. So it was just like, oh, I got to do this or whatever. And even though stage plays were paid too, two of them were actually free. Fannie Mae's Cafe and the women's monologue were free. Yeah, but those other two, the ones where we went on tour, like we weren't even in Texas for one of the stage plays. And then for Tempest, we had to do 2 shows in one day at the Vives Les Arts Theater in Fort Hood. But you know, I just knew I had to go for it. I was actually really pretty doubtless. And then when I came here, it was kind of like, oh, is there room? There's so many vocalists. There's so many people. Oh my God, what's happening? And then it just seemed like things started to quiet down. So that's when I started to actually feel like, oh, is this something I want to even deal with? But then, as I wrote in my notes, because I got a couple notes, I think this is a question you're about to ask. I'll wait for you to answer the question, but I think I just started thinking, nah, everybody can do whatever they want to do. We all have gifts, just like everybody comes up with the same, Family Dollar, Dollar General, Kroger, Target. Those are all the same places, essentially.
Yeah.
They all did the same thing. So it's enough room for all of us. I think it's really this society creates an idea that there's only a little bit for anybody. And no, we all can create our own reality. We manifest our own destinies, and we can create magic wherever we go. So, yeah.
I can relate.
Yeah.
Only because I realized even when it came to this whole podcast, me finally putting it into fruition, because I had this 2017 was a very crucial year for me as well. So I thought that was really cool that you said 2016, 2017, because my whole perspective changed. I went through something crazy, and that's when I started on my spiritual journey. And from then it made me look within and just like really take the time. It wasn't like a boom, 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 but like a snowball kind of effect type of thing. And I realized what you're saying is like you got out of your own way when you were in 2016, 2017, because you had no choice. In your mind, you let yourself know, like, that's it. Like, you don't have nothing else. And I feel like it does kind of manifest within you first. You have to think about it first. You have to not even just think about it. You have to believe it, know it, breathe it first, and then just take the first step, and then keep going, keep going, and keep going, and keep going.
Like building the momentum. That's literally what it was like. And just talking about this 2016 and 2017 is kind of remotivating me for 2021, because it just kept rolling. Things just kept going. And I didn't even have, a thought in my mind like nothing wasn't going to be successful. It was just like, no, I'm just going to do everything. Whatever. One time I booked the gig to be a photographer at South by Southwest in Austin. I ain't even had no camera. I just like, I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
If you need it, I'm going to figure it out. They found somebody else, but I was they found somebody else, but I was like, because I think I was transparent. I was like, I could do it. I'm just probably going to have to get a camera. And they was like, okay, well, just let us know. And at that time, I still wasn't like, I was like, nah, the camera thing, which is ironic. I'm taking a photography class now, and I don't think that's an avenue I'm going to go down. Photography is something else. It is something else.
It is. I have mad respect for them and videography.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to have an eye. It's the editing portion for me that I don't really like.
Yeah.
Yeah. The color schemes and all that extra stuff. No. But I know some very gifted photographers.
For real.
Yeah. And I shout out to
and they
y'all.
Good, right?
Yeah.
They got the patience. They know that Adobe freaking, oh my God, Photoshop. Have you ever opened it? It's crazy. There's symbols everywhere.
I've seen theirs. Right. I've seen other people work on it using it, but even that made my head hurt. I let them have that.
Right, you could do it. Like photography is cool when you're just talking about taking the pictures. Okay, over here, you want to go there and take them? Okay, I could do that part. But that editing,
yeah. And
But
then you touched on like the oversaturation of everything in Atlanta at this point. And then I know you are fully aware. If you're not, I I think you are though. Everybody's aware of how the people who get the most
Mm.
airtime, mainstream,
Mm-hmm.
or just attention,
Mm-hmm.
who kind of seem like carbon copies of each other.
Mm.
And it seems like the easiest way to do it. How do you keep yourself centered from even like indulging in that type of, like, I feel like if you do, it feels like you're giving up on yourself and you're just like, all right, I'm gonna roll with the punches. Unless that's really something that you're interested in. But like, how do you keep yourself authentic? How do you stay you throughout all of that noise?
Well, I've always been a contrarian, never a conformist. And I always been a rebel from even as a child to
Mm-hmm.
from my parents. But I was a good kid. But just they always knew that I was going to be one that was going to do her own thing. Even in the military, I was a real rebel there. Even though I got out honorably, you got to be strategic. But
You
I was
do.
a rebel there too. And I'm not doing that. I'm going to do what I want to do, not what you think I'm going to do. And that's where the music industry, that's where artists have gotten everything messed up. They think that they have to do everything that somebody told them to do, from dancing naked on a TV on Instagram just to get more views up,
Mm-hmm.
to just going to a video shoot and having people come up there and shoot it out so you can make it on the Breakfast Club. Okay, because a lot of these rappers ain't really out. I mean, come on now. Did you call the shooters to put everybody in danger at the video shoot so you can make it on the Breakfast Club? Because the Breakfast Club gonna talk about it. Oh,
Touch
they
it.
love talking about retarded rappers who get in violent situations and they take their gun to the airport. Silly shit. I've never
Yeah.
taken my gun to the airport.
Yeah.
So, I'm just like, it's
Yeah.
just, you got to just do what you want to do. I'm not compromising. And the contracts, people don't even read the contracts. The contracts say all kind of wild stuff. And people
Yeah.
they do everything for fame. One thing I've said is that I'm not attached to the industry. One thing I always emphasize is I'm not attached to the industry. I'm not attached to it. I'm not dying to be in it. I'm not gonna, that's not my thing. I'm just here to use my gift. I'm gifted. I'm not an industry person. I'm not a fame, desiring fame, and this is the only thing I got going on, is hoping that my music career takes off. And it's not no offense to people that do that, but you got to be multifaceted in these streets.
You
Even
do.
my mom, she was the first Black female police lieutenant in Las Vegas Metro, but she also was teaching criminal justice at the University of Phoenix. She was a real estate agent for Caldwell Banker. I mean, and this was a police officer. She had all these different real legitimate hustles. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, I'm not going to put all my eggs in this fame basket. I'm going to, keep on tapping into different facets of myself. And if anything happens with the music industry, that's great. But again, I'm not doing none of that wild
Right.
stuff just
As
so
you
I can
should.
be famous. No.
And I feel like us in this particular generation, this day and time, we are
Mm-hmm.
afforded the luxury to not even, we can bypass
Right.
Capital, Interscope. We don't need none of those entities no more because we can market ourselves.
Right.
We can use our Instagram, our social platforms, our YouTube, anything to generate our own income. We don't need
Mm-hmm.
agents. I mean, obviously, if you want somebody to help you, if it gets overwhelming, then yes, then they come into play. But like, the ball is now really in our court, in the creator's court, in this day
Right.
and age. Now, I can see if this was back in the 80s and 70s or even the 90s, where you really, the only way to get exposure and to make some real money and to have music videos and do all this other stuff, that you really needed like a whole
Right.
team behind you,
Right.
which was easy for you to get manipulated. Can
Mm-hmm.
you explain a little bit on how someone who has taken the first step into recording their music, but now they want to be able to expand it and make it available for anybody and possibly make money?
Well, whoo, child, making money in the music industry is going to be a challenge if you're not
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce, and that's just what it is. You have to sell units. They're selling songs at 0.01 cents on a
Right, I
dollar.
noticed.
On a
Yeah.
dollar. So the best thing is to get gigs. Like I just said, I
Mm-hmm.
made more money gigging than I have off my Shut Up record. And I
Mm-hmm.
love my song. So, it's just about just focusing on what it is that you want the music to do for you versus what you gonna do for an industry that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? And so I just say put the music out there. Like that was one thing that prevented me from putting music out. Like, dang, if I put it out, I ain't gonna make no money, but it doesn't even matter at this point. It's just putting it out there for somebody to hear it. And then you never know what could come from it on a bigger scale of royalties and getting money. But put it out there, have your own catalog, and just gig it up. I mean, I know right now in this panoramic, we can't do that right now. but just put it out there, and let with the music, it's almost like you gotta just see what's gonna happen with it. You can be super disciplined with it, like my friend Dope Boy Philly, shout out to him. He puts out a song a month and a video a month, and he's on it. Whereas me, I put out a song in 2020 and I haven't put any music out since then, because I'm just like, hey, it's touch and go, it's whatever. But that was doubt on my part. Put everything out, release all of your artwork, whether it takes or gets money or not. And I prefer DistroKid as far as a distribution service. I should have been using that in the first place. Right now I'm waiting. Yes. And there's two of them, DistroKid, TuneCore. Back in the day, there was CD Baby, but I use TuneCore right now, but I'm going to go transition to DistroKid because apparently they're a lot more faster with releasing your music. TuneCore, I'm sitting here waiting on it. I have a song that I'm releasing, Blow Your Mind, supposed to be coming out March 1st, but TuneCore,
it's taking its time.
It's taking its time. But, and those are some ways to distribute. Always get a PRO, performance rights organization. So don't just be out here singing songs. Make sure you register with BMI or ASCAP. Those are the two performance rights organizations that register you as a publisher or songwriter. So whatever you're doing, you're always getting credit for it. And I always say, never let anybody write any of your music for you. Beyonce can go get all those writers, because she's going to, pay for that. That's going to be a big split. That's going to be a nice split for a Beyonce song. She got 5 writers up there as Beyonce. It's going to hit. Yeah. But if you're just you write your own song, you put your own music out there. I never have understood what was going on back in the day when people weren't writing their own songs. Right. That's the, now you don't have anything. Now you was just on the microphone, because when you register yourself with BMI and ASCAP, they don't ask you, are you a vocalist? Are you a rapper? They ask you, are you a publisher? Are you a songwriter? Boom. So that's what I would recommend for that. Always write your own songs. Get creative. Don't worry. Don't overthink it either. My god sister was telling me the other day, I don't know, I just be thinking too hard. Just write it all. Go back later, look at it later, put the words around. Part of being a writer is knowing how to format the paragraphs and put things in position. Just write stuff down and then go back and organize it later. And you come up with something. You have some stuff in there. Don't overthink it. And always write your own stuff. That's the biggest thing. Always do that. And register with the PRO, and, upload your stuff. Get you a website, do your thing,
No, I think that's important. And I never even heard anybody recommend the PROs thing, like with BMI and ASCAP. I mean, I'm aware of it, but I've never heard anybody really say to do that. I know a lot of people that just release and don't even do that.
They don't even write. And your music is automatically copywritten if you write it down. That's the thing. People, you can go get the copyrights. That's exciting. I had my one of my other songs, Did Love This Way, copyright come in. But if you research copyrights, as soon as you write anything down, it's yours. They could get sued right away. So don't get too stressed out about, because that was one thing. Yeah. I was like, I'm writing songs, but then I got to go copyright it, blah, blah, blah. No, as soon as you write it, it's done. That's done. It. Yeah. And you could just go get it copyrighted and have fun, which was cool. But, once you write it down, it's done. And that is interesting that you say that. A lot of people don't put that out there because they want to. You got to pay attention to how these producers work. The first time I worked with a producer, he's like, you want me to help you write it? No, I'm good. I don't want you to help, because now I got to give you a percentage. And I want all my 50. If it's me and a producer and he came up with the beat and I'm writing it, I want my 50%. Okay. Yeah. But 2 books that I recommend, though, I'm glad I got them right here. All about the what is this? All you need to know about the music business. He tell you right up front, Donald S. Patton. Now this is the white one. This is the white author. He tell you right up front, the biggest thing that an artist needs is an attorney. Don't get caught up in that manager shit. Don't give that manager all that money for that. You manage yourself. You're your own manager and agent. The biggest thing you need is to get an attorney to figure out, okay, what's going on. This is a good book. And then the black one, Oh, here it is. Uh-oh, I'm gonna have to probably take off all these books. If you hear some things tumbling.
Okay.
Don't worry. But this is by Darrell Digger Branch. He's what was he? He wrote for everybody. Jay-Z, Beyonce, produced for everybody. But this is a good book. Now, I like this one because it breaks it down less, you know how, the Caucasians, they
Right.
beat game. This is a good book. It'll teach you. You might think, oh, it's just talking about beats. No, he's talking about the lawyers, the marketing, and all of that in this book too. Two good books I think musicians should have. Don't just be in there just blah blah blah. Get these two books. This all about the music business. This is crazy. Look at all these. Look at all my little notes. It's just a really good book.
But
It's really
see,
thorough.
this is what I feel like distinguishes the doers and the dreamers. I'm also a dreamer, but I'm a dreamer doer, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people just wait for someone to give them the information. Like they don't even go to get the resources to be able to help them get there. Like I feel like books are essential. You have to, like everybody, like I hate reading, but literally that saying, if you want to hide something, and for that saying, it was if you want to hide something from a Black person, put it in a book. But I feel like if you want to hide something from people in general, put it in a book, because they're not even going to figure it out. And it's a lot of stuff. I have a pet peeve. I'm all about us helping each other out, but there are some things that if you can go on Google, take the initiative and go on Google and do it. Like,
yes.
But like you did, you took it upon yourself to get these extra gems. Because me on the outside, I would have thought like, yeah, as long as I got a manager, I'm good. Like,
and that's where people go wrong. That manager, I mean, unless you really got stuff moving. All right, like at my stage right now, I don't need an attorney or a manager. If I went up a notch, then it would be like, all right, I'm gonna go get an attorney. You know what I'm saying? Right. But then if I get to like a level of like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so booked that I could, I need a manager, and now I'm okay to give them a percentage, because a manager just want a percentage. That's all they want. They don't even know what's going on half the time.
And they just
like, want a percentage.
Exactly. They just want a percentage, and they're operating as your PR. Like they're networking for you. Like when you can do that yourself, because 9 times out of 10 people are already doing it for themselves. They're handing the information over to that manager, and then the manager is being that other person. I don't know if it's an ego thing, if they feel like they just want somebody to speak for them, or just self-doubt, not feeling like they're capable of doing that. But I really, really, really appreciated a lot of the gems you just dropped today. Like you brought out books, girlfriend.
Okay,
you gave us some
like
links
just now. I brought out a book.
No, and then you definitely got me forever, because revolutionary suicide I'm trying to tell you, changed my life.
I love that book. I might reread that one again this year too. I think I definitely should. Yeah, right. It's such a good one. I love Dr. Hugh B. Newton so much. Like I'm getting chills just thinking about him. He's just phenomenal. Out of all of the activists that I've read about, he was just the one that was just like, wow. And the epitome of an Aquarius is as quiet as it's kept. And I'm not trying to throw no Aquarius 17th. Shade. But Aquarius are supposed to be the humanitarians, and Dr. Hugh P. Newton is one of the, in my opinion, one of the few Aquariuses that I know that are public figures that actually went all the way, to his very last interview. To his very last interview, he was still like, no, this is this and that's that, and this would and ba ba ba, so. Just amazing. I'm so glad. I'm so grateful that he existed. And I'm grateful for people like Pharaoh, who are in this time, space reality, giving us information and insight and, clarifying things. Because, quiet as it's kept, I was already coming into, a realization about some things before Pharaoh, but just to have a mind like him, scientifically breaking things down, doing things and exposing us to things that, we wouldn't even know about, like, I'm not going to get into all of that. You have to check my podcast, but just some of the darker things that are going on politically. Right. I'm grateful for, minds like that. If I could have been around when Dr. Hugh Dude was here, it would have been like, oh my God. So I'm just grateful to have somebody in our time, space, reality that is, trying to do something, because, you know what I'm saying? And trying to keep us informed without trying to make it seem like we have to follow them and it's only them. And, it's like
I'm
crazy,
not with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I'm
that's
not a
another
follower.
topic. That's another topic.
Right.
It will be off to some other stuff. I do want to get to a point where you get to just let the people know where they can find you. Like you
Mhm.
touched upon, you're gonna have a podcast that's
Yes.
dropping soon. Your
Yes.
music, where they can find your
And
music,
yes,
your
and I want to shout
Instagram.
you out. I was excited
Oh,
to meet you at the vinyl event that I went to. Thank you
anything but
for
trap.
like
We're
we
doing it
was
again.
chopping it up at the bar. Like
We
I came there
were.
by myself, so it's always dope to be able to at least chop it up with some people when you go to places by yourself. And that was super dope. And then you put me on to some podcast information. And like you said at the bar, like people hardly share things. So I'm so grateful that you shared that information with me, and then you even brought me on your podcast. That's super dope. Thank you.
Because I thought you were really cool, and I really enjoyed our conversation. And I was
Yes.
like, you know what? She would be perfect for this show. And you were.
Thank you.
And you are.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
appreciative too. Because some people like, yeah, girl. And then never hit back. Like
And never hit back. No
yeah.
reciprocity. Reciprocity. Normalize reciprocity. Normalize it. We need
I
it.
don't know if it's this Cancer Capricorn energy going on right now, but
Mm-hmm.
you've spoke on a lot of stuff that I agree with. Like reciprocity was my word of the year last
Yes.
year. But then I
Yes.
just realized that's just me in general. I literally
Period.
that. But it was a
Right.
clarification that I needed to have. I was like, oh, this is why you act that way. You get what you get,
Right.
baby girl. That's it.
Right. Right.
Oh, I
But
learned a lot of things about you. But oh yeah,
yes.
give your plug.
Okay, so yes, y'all can follow me on all social media at Nhayah Goode, N as in November, Hayah, Good with an E, on all social media. Well, shoot, I only got one social media. I don't be all into the Clubhouse, Twitter, and Facebook. I got only
Yeah,
Instagram. So on
just
Instagram
Instagram.
and YouTube, follow
Those are
me,
the
my website.
essentials, to be honest.
Right. Those are the essentials. Like, I don't
Hmm.
even know about Clubhouse. I'm going to Google it later.
You
but
might fall in
uh,
love with it. You might like it.
okay. I'm gonna check it out. And then www.nyahgoode.com is where you can get all of my blogs, all of my articles. The most recent article I posted is what is it? What is it?
Yep,
I don't
say
even
it.
know. Well, the one that you read was Do Men Love Mean Women? And then I just dropped one recently
No,
that said,
the one after that. I read your
oh,
latest
it was
one.
the how come I can't think
Yeah.
of my own title? What is it, India? I'm
Hold
gonna
on,
have to go on.
let me get to it. Cause I love it.
What's
And
pussy got to do with it? That's what it
what's
is, right?
pussy got to do with it? I
Yes.
want everybody to read that article because
Yes.
you spoke my thoughts.
Thank
We
you.
ain't gonna go too deep into it, but it was amazing. I really
Thank you
liked
for
it.
reading. Thank you for reading. I love that. I feel like a kid. I get so excited when somebody says something. I turn into a kid. Like, really? Oh my God.
No, you was hitting
Thank
some
you.
things. I was like, yeah, that don't even make sense. Cause why would they even do that? Blah
Right.
blah blah, blah. Like, yeah, cause yeah, yeah.
For real. And let me tell you guys how I write is I write like I'm not, I throw out some big words now. I do some of that, but I also say shit in my blog. So it's really
Yeah.
it's very readable and it's fun. But yes, what's pussy got to do with it? That was my latest blog. I'll be releasing some music soon. Like India said, I'll have a podcast coming out.
Yeah.
It'll debut April 1st. It'll be story time with Nhayah because I told y'all I'm long-winded. I like stories. So I want to see you on that one telling some of your greatest stories.
Okay.
And yeah, just got a lot of stuff moving. We about to make stuff move and shake this year, at all times. But I'm just feeling really like, especially after last year's
This is a
nonsense,
boost. Yeah.
it's time to get it popping.
I feel like
So
2020, like the catapult, 2020 was like the back, and then 21 is like propelling.
right, like it's
Swing.
made everybody sit down and just kind of mostly sit down. I was still moving. Like I told you, I'm a contrarian, so I'm in Walmart. Like, what you said, a mask on? Huh?
Stop
I
the
can't
plan.
hear you.
Stop playing.
But yes, this is the time is now. The veil, it has been lifted. I want to say, tap into something spiritual before I go, but the veil has been lifted. There's so much truth out here. There's so much to grasp and take hold of. Just go out there and get it. And like I said, we are the magicians. Stop waiting for something higher or something else or some leader to come out here and dictate to you. We can rebalance this entire society if we just say it, if we just believe it. I believe that we can be in a free, peaceful, non-wicked, politically
I
confusing
feel that way
society.
too. People
We just
feel
have to
like
manifest
that's
it.
people see it as being an idealist, but I see it as being a realist.
Right.
Because I'm prepared and I'm willing to put in the work for it. That's what separates the two.
Right. Right. That's it. So as much as we manifest, oh, politics, let's manifest literal peace on earth at this point. Peace and love on this planet because there's so much going on. And so, yeah, ashe. Put a little ashe on
Ashe.
that.
So I want to go over what I feel like were the key gems that you brought up earlier. One, you said you can use DistroKid.
DistroKid, yes,
DistroKid
DISTROKID. That's a good distribution
distribution
platform for
platform.
music, for your music.
Always get compensated.
Yes.
Okay, do not feel afraid. It should be a
Yes.
given. Do not let them think
Yes.
that you're going to get paid what you're not
Yes.
worth.
A wise mentor told me they can afford to pay you $50. Okay, at the minimum.
At the least.
But always go
And
high. Start out high. Okay, I want 1,000. I can't do 1,000. All right, what can you do?
all right,
Okay,
what can you do? Because the last place that gave me about just
right, right.
But thank you so much. Thank you again.
Thank you.
I
I'm so
appreciate
excited.
it.
And I'm gonna pull up to that event. She said y'all are gonna do another one when now?
March 20th.
Okay, I'm gonna be there.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is for the listeners. Thank you again for listening to A Trip to India podcast. If you have not done so already, please hit that subscribe button so you will stay up to date on each new amazing guest, just like Miss Nhayah Goode here. And join the conversation. Please follow me on Instagram at Atrip2IndiaPodcast. Also, if you want to know anything specific, if you want to have guests return, please email me your concerns at askindy at Atrip2IndiaPodcast. See you next week.